Straight ahead, up in the air, your next flight at Dallas Love Field or DFW International Airport could be delayed or canceled because of the record-long government shutdown. We speak with two members of Congress from North Texas about whether this has become a game of political chicken between Democrats and Republicans. Exclusive interview, Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson discusses urgent issues facing the city, the potential for Dallas PD to work more closely with ICE, the future of City Hall and DART, and keeping the Dallas Mavericks and Stars from leaving the city. And surprising results. How did a Democratic candidate for a rare open state Senate seat in a Republican majority district in Tarrant County force a runoff with a conservative candidate? We speak with both, who are now in a runoff about their message to voters. Good morning, I'm Jack Fink. Get your fix for Texas politics. Eye on Politics on CBS News Texas starts now. Hello and welcome to Eye on Politics. Hope you're having a good weekend. Lots going on. Let's start with the ongoing government shutdown, which became the record-long shutdown on Wednesday when it reached 36 days. As a result, the FAA ordered the airlines to phase in a 10% cut to the number of domestic flights at Dallas Love Field and DFW International Airport and nearly 40 others across the country. We've seen long lines at airports as TSA officers and air traffic controllers have not shown up for work because they haven't gotten paid. They've missed 2 paychecks and may miss more. Senate Republicans and Democrats started negotiating last week to figure out how they could agree to reopen the government, while House Republicans passed a clean continuing resolution to keep the government open in September. That has not happened in the Senate, where they need 60 votes. Republicans in the Senate need enough Democrats to join them to pass the House bill, but that hasn't happened just yet. We spoke with Democratic Congresswoman Julie Johnson of Farmers Branch, and I asked her if this is becoming a political game of chicken to see which political party blinks first.
It's not political chicken to me. I think this is really serious issues. People's health care is very, very important. And that is what I've heard from my constituents consistently is please do whatever you can to keep my health insurance stated. People's health premiums are significantly going up if this were to pass by 2, 3, 4 times. And it's unaffordable for people to do that. So it's not a game to Democrats. This is a very serious business. It might be games to Republicans because they're not serious. They haven't come to the table. They haven't been working. They've been not in D.C. The Speaker has not called Republicans back.
Well, all the action, though, is in the Senate because the House passed the bill, the clean CR. So it's really depends on what the Senate is going to do.
Well, Senate Democrats have offered a proposal to open the government, maintain the status quo for the Affordable Care Act and SNAP, and Republicans in the Senate has voted that down 14 times. So they're not serious about reopening the government. There's a proposal that takes care of it all, that maintains health care for the American people, which is widely popular. And I think we've seen that last night with these electoral results that were consistent across the country with significant turnout, significant wins for Democrats.
The Secretary of Transportation is now warning that if this government shutdown lingers on into next week, that they may have to shut down parts of the U.S. airspace because federal workers who aren't getting paid are not showing up. How serious is this in your mind?
That's very serious. Obviously, our country needs a robust transportation system, our business environment, the personal transportation needs of the American people and business and everything. Well, of course, that would be catastrophic to the American people and to our economy. And I hope Republicans are listening to that. They are in charge. Speaker Johnson is the only one that can call the House back in session. I cannot do that as a Democrat. This is on Republicans to actually get this done and lead and have us be there to get a solution. And right now, they're not doing it.
We also spoke with Republican Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne of Irving, and I asked her the same question. Is the shutdown becoming a political game of chicken to see which political party blinks first?
I don't think so. I'd hate to think that, but I know the Republicans right now handed the Democrats a gift horse. We passed a clean CR. The House did its job, passed it to the Senate, and the Senate has what, 14, 15 times now? Democrats in the Senate have voted to keep the government shut down. They have recognized the fact that it is painful, that it is causing working families, small businesses, everyday Americans, it is very painful. It is very hard on them. And what they've done is they've defined it as having leverage. What they've done is they've said they had a $1.5 trillion wish list that they wanted added to a very short term funding bill. And it's very frustrating. What we have gotten in our district is calls saying, don't fold.
You're set to appear at a news conference with Speaker Mike Johnson. What do you say to the public?
I think what we're going to say is we want to have the government open. We recognize that right now we are seeing, it was just announced that FAA is going to be starting to cancel flights. I think the Trump administration has done its best to make sure that most people don't even feel that we have a government shutdown right now. But for those millions of workers who are not getting paid, military who are soon not going to get paid, air traffic controllers who are having to, work on Instacart or Uber to be able to pay their rent, to be able to put food on the table, or not getting paid but still having to go to work. Those people are suffering, and we recognize that, and it's time to get back to work. This is nothing more than Democrats pounding their chest. They are not looking out for their constituents. They're definitely not looking out for Texans.
Let me get back to your point before about the air traffic reductions that we are about to see. I saw a preliminary list that was obtained by CBS News that shows Dallas Love Field
Yeah.
and DFW International Airport are on that list. How big of a concern is this?
Oh, it's massive. It's massive. We have historically, look, I was mayor of the city of Irving. One of the things that I have always complimented was DFW Airport. I used to be on their board. It is the #1 economic driver in our state. To sit there and think that we don't have, the ability to be able to get where we need, folks to be able to fly into our district, people who are conducting business being able to fly where they need to go, that is a horrendous burden.
Former Vice President Dick Cheney died last week at the age of 84. His family said the causes of death were complications of pneumonia and cardiac and vascular disease. Cheney served for 2 terms as vice president under President George W. Bush. He was considered to be the main architect of the war on terror after the 9/11 terror attacks. In a statement, former President Bush said, quote, "Laura and I will remember Dick Cheney for the decent, honorable man that he was. History will remember him as among the finest public servants of his generation, a patriot who brought integrity, high intelligence, and seriousness of purpose to every position he held." Coming up, we have more Eye on Politics after the break. Our wide-ranging exclusive interview with Dallas Mayor Eric Johnson, from the future of City Hall to what he says about Dallas PD potentially working more closely with ICE.